Hello traders and welcome to the weekly outlook and setups volume 96. It's Iliya here, and as always I'm super excited to have you on my channel. As you know, in this video we're gonna have a look at the market, how it developed this week, what opportunities did we have, and what we can potentially expect for the upcoming week. So this one was actually pretty nice, a little bit tricky in terms of price action, and actually I haven't taken a single trade this week. I really stayed on my hands and I really only observed price. So of course I'm gonna show you the potential opportunities, but I haven't taken any trades this week, which is of course perfectly fine for me because I'm really patient. I always wait for my setups to strike, the setups that have back tested, the setups that work for me. But of course there is always room for improvement. I am working also on a lot of things to really improve my trading. So if you're new to the channel, of course it's all about trading. I share this weekly outlook and setups every Saturday, and once per week I'm gonna try to share even a trading setup breakdown, some trades that I take, and an educational video as well. So make sure you are subscribed, turn on the notification bell in order not to miss those videos. And before we start, I want to let you know that I have been trading some crypto, and I do it with Forex.com. It's an amazing broker with very low spreads on the crypto especially, and they have a commission-free account. But if you choose the eco account, you're gonna pay commission there, but every single dollar that you pay in commission goes towards planting trees. And I really think this is an amazing initiative. So if you haven't checked them out, link is down in the description. And if you already did, let's see what do we have for this week. Alright, as always, starting with the DXY, our best friends, to have a look how the dollar performed this week. And as you can see from the weekly time frame, we're having 3 consecutive bearish weeks, so that is really nice because we reacted from this range right there, which was actually the weekly lower high. We pushed to the downside, and then we have this very nice correction for quite some time, but we finally reached this area right there, and then we strongly react from it. So I want you to pay attention to something which really shows us that the market is bearish. We have this massive pump, then we have a very nice consolidation, reaccumulation right there. Then we have another very nice push to the downside. And then I want you to have a look at the correctiveness of price, right? Have a look. We have little pushes, little pullbacks, very slow price action. And right now we have the same very nice weekly candles impulsing to the downside, showing us that the dollar is pretty weak. Dropping onto the daily time frame. So we started, no, this is the daily, sorry. So the catalyst for me of going short on this market is actually a break of this daily low, because this was the daily higher low. So since there we pushed to the upside, so the market is actually allowed to pull back towards this area, and if it's actually gonna go bullish, it should react from this range right there. But as you can see, we kind of slowed down right there for 2 days, but then the market actually on Monday just pulled back a little bit and snapped below this level. So actually since then I've been bearish. But if you have a look again a little bit on the left, we have this demand area that the market actually tried to react for 3 days, but I knew that actually this one is not gonna hold. It was just a cause for the market to pull back, to create a lower high, and then right now we are dropping to the downside. So definitely expecting sellers on the DXY. Dropping onto the 4-hourly, you can see this is where Monday opened. So this actually turns into a very nice, oops, why is this red? Into a very nice supply area right now that we can potentially reach, but is it gonna do it this week? We don't know, okay? Because we just pulled back, we created the lower high, and basically if I drop my rectangle right there, you can see that we have a double top. So if you have covered the free course, you know that this is a failure to break above. We did not break with a body close above this candle, the highest wick right there. And as you can see, the market sold off a little bit, little pullback on Friday, and then we continued to push lower. So what is my outlook right now? And as you can see, the 4-hourly is perfectly simple. We actually broke the 4-hourly low, so this is a confirmed lower low right now, so we are perfectly bearish. So right now the question is, where can the pullback occur? Well, 2 places for me. The first one is actually this one, because this is potentially very minor structure on the hourly. You can see how we pushed, then we created this protraction, like a sharp pullback to maybe scare some sellers, to maybe push some buyers in, and then we continue lower. So personally, I'm going to be looking for a pullback maybe on Monday, Tuesday, the market to pull back either inside this area or to continue. And maybe if this area breaks, then we can tap again into the supply zone and sell off. And again, I do not exclude this area because this one is pretty strong. It definitely has to tap to retest it. So let's see. But overall, my bias is sellers on the DXY. So knowing that the dollar is weak, we know what to expect for the other currencies as well. Let's have a look at euro dollar, but on the monthly time frame. Okay, so right now we're starting from the monthly. So what I want to show you right there is so this big push to the upside that broke structure on the left. Okay, so we tapped in some sort of supply area right there, and then we had this big reaction. But again, guys, I want you to have a look the strength of this push to the upside. So it took 7 days, and then have a look at the pullback. It took 792 days. So that is double of this push, which shows us that the momentum is really to the upside. And what we did, we came all the way back down to retest this structure right there. And right now, I totally believe euro is actually going up. If we zoom in a little bit, you can see that actually on the monthly, we created this higher low. Why is this a higher low? Because we had a push, a pullback, and a higher high. So basically this is our higher low, and if the market breaks below it, then potentially we might be about to get some sellers, right? And also what we did is we react from this level right there, but I believe this level is just the catalyst for the market pulling back. And right now I think we're actually about to head above like 1.26, maybe break 1.25 and head for 1.26. So this is a little bit of a longer term, but we have to build even the highest time frame picture. So as you can see on the weekly, pretty much the same as the DXY. We have this push, we have this range, another pump, and then a very nice corrective price action that came really deep. So it came very deep to retest these levels right there. Maybe something on the hourly, maybe on the hourly, some sort of a level right there. And right now we have actually broken minor weekly structure, which is this push, little slowdown, lower low. Right now we closed above it. So definitely we are going to the north on EU. And yes, as you can see, this is actually the elections. As you can see from here, we really launched a lot of volume. So actually the market came to revisit all the way down in this area. And from there, we actually very strongly reacted. And right now we're pretty much trading to the upside. Then dropping onto our, so currently some potential reactions is this level, this supply area right there. Why? Because have a look at this big wick and then the big sell-off. So this is just the logic behind the market left a huge wick and then sold off. So if the market taps again inside this area, then we can definitely expect some sort of a reaction. All right. And yes, then dropping onto the hourly, it was pretty tricky to trade EU this week because we started right here and then we just pushed on a Monday. Okay, Monday just exploded. I was looking maybe for a little bit of a pullback or retest of these areas, but the market just pumped. Okay, just pumped to the upside. And then you basically trade within that range. Right there, you had a potential long from here, then a potential short from here, and then the final long right there. And what the market actually did is it retested previous broken structure, and then we headed to the upside. So there were quite a few opportunities that I monitored on EU, but none of them really high probability. So actually, this sell, first of all, this is the sell. So what I expected is that this was our weekly high, because it was created on a Tuesday and then the market really sold off. So then I actually tried to buy the market from somewhere right there. I'm not pretty sure. And because I haven't taken any trades, I don't have them marked as well. I just observed. And then we actually had a little sell from there. The market manipulated. This is your Asian range. We had a manipulation down, manipulation up, but then we had some news. The market spikes inside this area right there, where was the last buy before the big sell off. And then we very strongly reacted, and where we went inside the structural level right there. We broke this low right here, and then as you can see, the market just reversed to the upside. So there were a lot of people that wanted to sell the market from this level. Why? Because simply because it looked like a very strong resistance level, but as you can see, the market already tapped it and reacted from it. So if we come again, it is really likely to break, and we actually broke, pullback. Right there, it was pretty tricky because it looked like a break of structure, but then we sharply impulsed to the upside again at the end of the day. So very tricky euro. And in order to trade this one, you definitely have to go to the lowest time frames. For example, the 3 minute, to have a look. There was one long right there, even on the 1 minute, this push to the upside. As for the other ones, I think there was one right there, exactly this move up, also on the 1 minute, but nothing really major this week for me on EU. Therefore, I haven't traded it. But right now, let's focus on the hourly actually. So this is our high right now. Okay, so where is our higher low? It's exactly right there, right? And we have broken structure. So right now, the question is, are we gonna have a pullback? if you look on the left, I told you that there is this weekly area right there that we're potentially gonna reach for. Right now we're tapping inside this, which is also a nice level right there. If I just mark it out, we're already tapping inside it. So I would definitely be looking for a reaction, guys, okay? So maybe the market can continue to push a little bit up, but then I'm gonna be looking for a pullback towards these areas and then a potential pump. But as you know, for example, if I give you an example from the previous week, I was looking for the market to revisit this area right there, but as you can see, it just opened and it pumped up. So right now I'm telling you, let's wait for a pullback down there, but the market can just open, for example, like this and then explode. And if it does this, then we have to adapt. Then our new higher low is gonna be right here, and that is where we're gonna be looking for potential longs. Okay, so that's EU, guys, looking for longs. But first of all, we have to see where is it gonna pull back, how is it gonna form structure, and then of course we have to flow with the markets. If you are trading EJ, usually if it's one of your pairs, then I'm completely sorry for you, because this pair has been really messy the past few 3 weeks. So as you can see, again, we're having another actually long leg doji, because we broke the previous weekly low. We also broke the previous weekly high, and basically we closed in the middle. So there was a lot of manipulation happening this week on EJ. And as you can see, this is all that is happening right now. So we have this pump to the downside on the daily, then we push up, but we failed to break the high. We failed to break this high right there, and simply we just wick above it, wick, and then we had this big spike on the 20th of April. Let me show you. So basically we had this big range, okay, and after I saw this big move up and a sharp retracement down, I was like, okay, we are going down, because this just grabbed the money. It maybe tapped into something on the left, and it really manipulated everyone, because there were buy stops above, people looking for a breakout, then you entered in the retest, and simply this looked like the market is gonna explode. But then what we have is the market going all the way down and actually breaking the support as well. Then we had a reaction from the support, and we went for another push to the downside. So what are you doing, EJ? I totally don't know. So guys, on this one, I actually have no analysis on it. I'm trying to figure out where it wants to go, what it wants to do. But yes, we still have this major low right there, which was actually looks like a fake, because have a look, we have a very sharp move and then a sharp move up, but still it creates structure. So we have this structural level that the market actually tapped into, and we are reacting. So if this is our most recent lower high, or yeah, let's say if it's just structure, because it's not a lower high, because it didn't break this low right there. This is broken right now. So if EU also is gonna move up, then this one should also move up. And if I drop on the hourly time frame, like we have this manipulation up, then a move down, consolidation, break of structure, pull back inside this level, and from here we exploded up. So more or less everything looks a little bit more bullish right now rather than bearish. So eventually I really want to see a confirmation in this one. So let's say on the hourly I want to see a pullback towards that area, and then a confirmed high to break above this structure, and maybe the full hourly to really start moving a little bit up before taking any longs. So EJ right now pretty tricky. So guys, give it some time and don't jump into any unnecessary trades on this one. Alright, let's see what the Aussies did this week. So having a look on the weekly time frame on Aussie dollar, I want us to have a little bit of a process right there on the structure. So basically we have this bump to the upside, we had a little bit of a complex correction, and then we sharply impulse to the upside. Let me change the color maybe to orange, maybe? No, let me change to red. Okay, red looks fine. So then we had a bump to the upside again, but I want you to have a look at this little candle that actually creates structure on the lower time frame. So this is our low, the market pushed into the highs, it pulled back and created a higher low, and then we actually broke this structure, this one on the left. Okay, so basically this right now is our higher high, and where is our higher low? Well, it's this one, it's this wick. And as you can see, the market is failing to close below this weekly low right there. So this is pretty significant in my opinion, and we actually had a nice reaction from it. And then this week we have a consolidation, so the market still does not have enough orders maybe to go for a higher high. So right now the question is, are we gonna actually go lower towards this area right there, or are we just gonna pull back a little bit and then maybe continue into the highs? Having that weak dollar, then definitely we should be looking for longs on AU, but the question is where from? Okay, then dropping onto the daily, you can see even the daily fails to break below the swing. Okay, we actually wicked through it, which is really good because we took liquidity or we did the manipulation, and right now we're actually pumping into the highs. Okay, so basically our daily structure right now is in this range. Okay, I'm drawing ranges right now, something like this, because if you take it like that, that's perfectly fine. Okay, but if you take it as a zone, then if the market gets inside that zone, that's where you actually look for buys and drop onto the lower time frames to look for your entry. Dropping onto the 4-hourly, well, again, tricky structure. Where did this week open? 19th, yes, somewhere around there. So we actually had a higher low right there. The market spiked below that higher low. We had a pump up, pull back, higher low, higher high, then a break of the higher low. So basically we look for sells, then the market pulls back. So potential sells right there. The market drops lower, wicks through, but doesn't break structure because we have this little area right there, a little stop of the price that acts as support and resistance, or supply and demand, whatever, and we react from it. So basically right now it's a little bit tricky on AU. And again, guys, I told you from the story that we built from the weekly and the daily, potentially we can expect another sell-off into the daily level, potentially. Okay, but if this doesn't happen, then I'm gonna be looking for a clear break above this high first, so maybe the market is gonna create another pullback. But then if we break above this level, that's when we go long. Okay, that's when we look for a pullback and a potential long setup, because right now if you just look carefully at price, it's ranging. Okay, so we had that little introduction of buyers, yes, but then we broke down again and then we started to range inside kind of this range right there. So the question right now is, do we have enough orders to pump the market up, or do we maybe have to drop a little bit lower towards this big consolidation right there where a lot of orders were accumulated, and then to pump into the highs? So this is what I'm gonna see for next week. So keep those levels on your charts. We have this level that the market reacted from, and then we have this potential lower high. So also, if I just have a very quick look on the hourly, it's not very clear. Okay, so even if we tapped inside this area, it looks pretty good. The reaction is not really strong. So if the reaction was strong, I want to see something like this. I want to see a move like this. Okay, but compare this move to this move, it's nothing too much. Okay, which makes me think that not enough buyers enter from that area, and so we might see some downside, maybe a little bit lower into 76,500, let's say. Okay, so that is my outlook. I would say I don't want to post any expectations. This is my outlook on the Aussie, so I'm going to be really following price and where it wants to go when the market opens. And dropping to AJ, let's have a very quick look on the weekly. Yeah, look at that. Just, it's been 4 weeks of doing nothing. Dropping onto the daily, you can see a big consolidation. Okay, so again, if we try to define structure, so we have a pump. So this is our higher low. This is our higher low as well. From here, we make a higher high. Not really, but let's say this is our higher low. This is our next higher low, but this higher low fails to make a higher high. So we start to step down. Okay, so this means that it's running out of steam. It cannot make a move up. It doesn't have the order. So right now the question is, where is it gonna go in order to gather those? So in terms of weekly, maybe these lows right there. In terms of daily, again, this consolidation. But yes, currently we're just in the range, and actually we're starting to turn a little bit bearish because we had this high right there. And if I drop my rectangle, we only wicked through it, which is not a break, and then we reacted to the downsides. Okay, then dropping onto the 4-hourly, building all that story. Have a look at this beautiful spike above. So all of that resistance level. I'm actually gonna do a video. Let me know if you want me to do a video to compare support and resistance and supply and demand. I think it's gonna be a very good topic, because you can see right here we have resistance, and the resistance get faked. Okay, and then we pump into the downside, break structure, and basically then we started to create lower highs. So this is our most recent lower high. The market is currently pulling back towards it. So as you can see, actually AJ looks a little bit bearish. The last place that it was actually bought, it's right there. So eventually I would expect a sell-off. Maybe we can pull back again towards that area, a sell-off inside this area, and from here I'm gonna wait for the reaction. So because this is my last resort, if this level gets broken, because this is the last kind of a higher low, but this higher low did not break structure up. Okay, so it's a weak one, and I think it will definitely get taken out. So I'm kind of starting to shift towards taking shorts on the Aussies. But let's see, currently this is my major lower high. It can get broken, of course, to maybe come into the highs right there as well, but I will be looking for shorts towards this area. So let's see how the Aussies are gonna play out, and make sure you are watching my Tuesday analysis on Telegram. Let's have a quick look on the NZDs, which are a little bit trickier than the Aussies, because actually if you have a look on this one, we have broken weekly structure. Okay, oops, let me hold shift. We have broken weekly structure right there. And right now, are we in a pullback phase, or was this the pullback in order to go for a high? This is the question that I want to figure out right now for the NZDs. But again, dropping onto the daily, so we have this massive sell-off right there. Then the market consolidated a little bit, and right now we're really pumping to the upside with a strong pressure. Okay, so basically there is a daily level right there that we're currently tapping into, but if this one gets broken, so mark this level, guys, maybe with a ray, something like this, 72 whatever. If this one gets closed above, then we're definitely going up. Okay, then dropping onto the 4-hourly time frame, we can see that pretty much to the upside. But this big move to the upside right there, we had a little bit of a pullback. So this is our higher low. Again, if we cover structure, we have a higher low, higher high. Then we actually break a little bit the higher low right there. If you're following closely, we pull back for a lower high. Have a look how we change the structure right now, and then we actually had a little bit of a lower low right there, and right now we're in a pullback phase. So again, slightly tricky, and I think actually on the Aussies and on the NZDs we might have a little bit of a pop to the downside. Where to? Maybe this level right there. So if you watched on AU and on AJ, we expect a little dump to the downside before a move up, and I would actually expect the same with the NZDs. So potentially we can see that we're still trading within the range. Nothing too clear for me to be trading on NU this week, but yes, right now we're gonna tap into this demand area. So let's see how it's gonna tap, and then maybe if we're gonna have a reaction and drive us lower into this level, and then from there we're gonna see if we're actually gonna have a continuation towards the upside and maybe to break this daily level that I just identified. So this is my setup on NU for now. Maybe shorter term shorts, but if it really breaks above, then we definitely have to switch to longs, of course. So again, I always tell you guys, don't really marry your Sunday or Saturday analysis, because most of the times Monday is gonna present you with something completely different, and you have to be agile enough to adapt. And NJ, immediately, a very sharp, a very strong demand area that makes sense is this one. Why? Have a look at the move. Have a look. It just makes sense. When you see a move like this, it just makes sense that there were a lot of buyers from right there. And as you can see, the market is currently pulling back towards that area. Maybe. Let me just have a quick look on the weekly. Yeah, it's just consolidating. Daily. Again, have a look. This big sell-off right there. And actually, we shifted structure a little bit right there. We failed to make a higher high. We broke the structure. Right now, we pulled back for a potential lower high. But the market did not continue lower. And then we actually broke this structure right there. And as you can see, it's just breaking structure up and down, and it's pretty hard to figure out the bias. So right now, actually, I'm focused on the 4-hourly. And yes, we can potentially have something similar as with NU. We can have a little push to the upside. Then we can potentially drop inside this area, which is 77. And from there, we're going to judge. Are we going to go up, or are we going to continue down? If I maybe drop to the hourly time frame, well, let's see. We have a sharp pump to the upside, but we just reacted from this demand area. Then the market really sharply pushed to the downside. So yes, right now a potential reaction could be from here. Okay, which is 77,850. So let's see if we tap inside this area, maybe have a reaction, maybe take a few shorts towards this area, and then from there actually look for longs. But if this level gets broken, then potentially we should start looking for longs, okay, and maybe daily continuations towards these highs. But it's pretty tricky right now because we're kind of in the middle. If I just drop my FIP, like this looks like shorts, right? We tapped the 78.6 almost, so maybe we're gonna have another leg to the downside. But let's see, currently a little bit tricky to figure this out. So as I always say, let's flow with the market and let's see what it's gonna present to us. Let's have a look at some USD, starting from UJ, currently in this very nice weekly pullback. After this massive buy, we're having a sell-off a little bit right now. So the question is, where is it gonna stop? Okay, so potentially 107 could get tested, dropping onto the daily. You can see that we have right there a push, pullback, and this is the last higher low before the big move up. We have a little bit of a slowdown around these areas right there, something like this. So maybe this could be a target. As you can see, we nicely wicked right there inside 107,500. So this one is bearish, okay? This one is bearish, but what I mean is that we should have a little bit of a pullback, maybe a daily pullback, let's call it, because we're a massive sell-off right now. So maybe the market has to pull back a little bit to gather some steam before continuing to the downside. But basically on the 4-hourly this week, we had a little bit of a downtrend. So again, on the 19th right there, we impulsed to the downside, lower high. And basically this is your only trade. I think, because then we just started to chop around, and then we have this push on Friday, which was kind of a push and then a sharp retracement. So kind of tricky to know what this is. It looks like a liquidity grab in order for the market to pump up right now. But if we try to search for our lower high, well, basically this is it right there, but I'm gonna take this one because it looks much better. And again, you should go to explore how you could have entered inside this level, because this is where the actual opportunity is according to me. And right now on the hourly, like, we have this strange formation right there, like we sharply push to the downside and we massively impulse up. So right now what I really want to see if the market is going to reverse is maybe a pullback and then a break of this structure for a confirmed high, and then maybe a little uptrend to the upside. And where we can target, again, it's nothing that clear. Potentially we can target this high first, then we can target this high, and as long as the market continues to move in an uptrend, then we can of course take buys. But of course, guys, keep in mind that the market is bearish. All right, so maybe we're just gonna retest this area and then go down. Okay, but let's see. I'm pretty curious. I'm not really trading UJ right now because it's pretty tricky, and until I see something clear that really makes sense, I am gonna step away from it. So that's my outlook on UJ, guys. Make sure to mark this lower high and let's see how the market is gonna react from it. Is it gonna carry on to the downside, or is it gonna break this level? It was an interesting week for UCAD. Have a look at that weekly candle. We had a massive spike up and then we withdrew all the way down. So again, keep in mind that this market is perfectly bearish, but we might be coming inside the daily level to react. Again, why? Have a look at that push that comes from the downside, and have a look at the corrective market that is pulling back. Okay, so this is a little bit of a story that we can build. So the question is right now where we can pull back to. Well, I think we have a little bit more of a downside towards this big sell-off before the move up. So maybe inside 24, but I think at least 24,500, which was actually already tapped, I think. Yeah, but somewhere right there. But as you can see what happened this week, I had a few messages on Instagram from people taking this trade and from people blowing their accounts on this trade. So this was the interest rate decision for Canada. Have a look at this high. So this is how manipulation works. We have a high, we manipulate above the high, and then we just sell off. And everybody taking longs maybe on this move up because it looked very good at the beginning. We sharply impulsed to the upside, but then we just dropped. Spread was really high, and then we just consolidate. Okay, so what is expected maybe for next week? Well, I would personally love to see a little bit of a pullback towards this area, and then that potential continuation to the downside, because there are no signs for bullishness yet. Okay, so if you try to long UCAD right now, wait on it. All right, wait at least at 25,500, which is we're actually very close to it. But I would say, let's say I really want to see this wick tapped right there, this one. So that is my outlook on UCAD. Let's see if we're going to have a little bit of a pullback towards that big sell-off, because if the market pulls back towards this structural levels right there, it's going to have a very nice reaction, because this is where the market was really sold off. So let's see. I'm personally not trading UCAD. I'm just following it, but pretty curious to see how it's going to play out. USD Swissy is currently in a downtrend on the lower time frames, but if we have a look on the weekly, it actually looks up. Okay, but it's slightly trickier because we expect lower lows on the DXY maybe, but this one broke weekly structure right there, and right now it definitely looks like a pullback stage, maybe targeting this structural weekly level. Dropping onto the daily, it's starting to get a little bit weak right now because we had this nice sell-off right there, but then you can see how sloppy the market becomes, like little pushes, little pullbacks. So we're eventually traveling towards that area. Maybe we're gonna have a reaction from there, and then dropping onto the 4-hourly time frame. Yes, we had some opportunities on this one, but I am not following USD Swiss. So basically on Monday we created this lower high, and then we plunged into the downside. And basically, guys, this is your price action that you worked with this week. So did you find any trades right there? Let me know. I personally didn't, because it's just messy. Okay, if you want to take something on this one, you definitely have to force it on the 15-minute, but even the 15-minute doesn't look that clear. Okay, breaks of structure, pulls back, consolidation, push up, not clear. So USD Swiss is not one. I actually don't trade USD Swiss at all. It's not a pair that works good for me. But yes, what we can expect, to be honest, I don't know. We have consolidated since the 19th of April up until the end. So for 4 days, we just played within that range. So right now, is the market going to continue lower to break structure and then potentially look for a lower high to continue lower? Or is it going to start with a push to the upside, maybe towards these areas, and then to continue lower? or is it gonna break this structure to continue higher? Okay, we don't know. We don't know. Therefore, I have nothing clear, and this happens a lot. If I don't have anything clear on a chart, I just jump onto the next one. And USD Swiss is one of those pairs, so let's jump onto the next chart. Alright, let's have a look at the GBPs, as always starting with GU, and the GBPs were pretty tricky this week. GU is my main pair along with EU, but I saw only one opportunity that I did not execute on because I wasn't sure. So basically what do we have for this weekly candle is pretty strange. So we started with a little pullback, we massively pumped into the highs, and then we withdrew all the way down. And this is a pretty bearish candle in my opinion. It closed bullish. But for the next week, how I do imagine it is maybe filling that wick. And then the question is, are we gonna then push down? Or are we gonna maybe even break the high? So that is the question right now, which is a little bit difficult. And then I will, of course, do a lot of top-down analysis and try to figure this out. But currently on the daily, as you can see, we come from this level right there. And this is basically right here, push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, and a massive pump to the upside. So the market actually taps inside this level. And as you can see, first of all, we reacted, but this push to the downside was a reaction from this level because the market turned a little bit bearish. Okay, so we tried to make a lower low, but it failed. Okay, so we stopped right there. So basically created a double bottom, and then we broke structure to the upside. Okay, on the daily. So more or less GU is bullish right now, building that picture. So it's bullish. So maybe we can actually expect the market to break the high. Okay, so building that story. Then dropping onto the 4 hourly, basically the price action that we had this week is, where is it? Oh yeah, we started with a massive pump up, and then we had this pullback potential that could be capitalized on, and the market retraced all the way down towards this area where the move actually started. Okay. So there is another level to monitor, which is this higher low as well. So eventually the market is either gonna pump from this area, or we're gonna jump towards this area and reverse from there. So again, keep those levels marked, guys. Okay, this is the one of them at the lows. This is the extreme, and then this is one of this is the second one, which is kind of in the middle, which is not that strong, and we already had a reaction from it. Already retested it twice. So if we're actually gonna pump up, we're gonna pump up, maybe even on market open. And then actually to show you the trades, let me see, it was actually right here. So the market was getting a little bit too high right there. Maybe drop onto the 15-minute. And yes, so we have this consolidation right there. This is the Asian range. Then the market pumps into the highs, manipulates above the Asian range. No, actually this is still Asian high. And this is your manipulation above the Asian range. So usually I do trade those setups, but it wasn't that clear. Okay, but then if you of course drop onto the 3 minutes, you can see that we have this consolidation. The market broke structure with this nice pump to the downside. So basically your trade was from right there. But I did not take this one because it usually does not represent the setups that I like to take. But potentially this would have been a massive trade, And if you knew that this is a high, and that the market is going to potentially pull back towards all the way down, then you can potentially nail 1 to 30 trades. But I failed to do that. Then I tried to short it from here, but then we had all of that messiness right there. So we had this massive spike down. We had a return into the consolidation again. Continues. We had a little pump up, push down, but no break of structure, little pullback, and then we flushed. And then your only opportunity was this little pullback, which was nothing significant for me. Right, if we can go onto the 3 or to the 1 minute, yes, this is a lower high right there. If I just examine it for you guys, maybe drop to the 3 minute. As you can see, we had a break of structure and a pullback into structure as well. So potentially you can take a short from here, which I didn't as well. So basically I missed on some opportunities, but I think this is the only opportunity that I could have taken, and actually the setup was there. And then on the way down, it was a little bit tricky to actually take a trade. Then we tap inside this area, we actually react from it, and we already pulled back inside, and again we're reacting, but it's a little bit tricky right now. Okay, it's a little bit tricky to figure out. So definitely 100% I'm gonna let Monday play out to see if we're actually gonna carry on to push to the upside, to break above this little structure, because currently, as I said, we're sitting inside this level, and if this level gets broken, then I'm looking for this level. Okay, and from here I'm gonna be looking for longs. So this is basically my outlook on GU, guys. We definitely have to wait a little bit. A few things can happen again. the market can definitely break above, and if it does this, then we can look for longs, or the market can break below to tap inside this area, and then from there we have to look for the market to shift and then to potentially head higher. And of course we can target the weekly high, which is right there, because if the market is actually bullish from the higher time frames, it's gonna break the weekly high. Or who knows, we can have a consolidative week. But yes, make sure guys, it's very important to stay tuned for my Tuesday analysis, where I'm actually gonna present you with a fresh look on GU. GJ, tricky as well this week. I know a lot of people are loving GJ and they're trading it in different ways. It's basically a very good pair. But yes, we massively spiked into the highs, then we pulled back all the way down, and then we retraced a little bit to the upside. Dropping onto the daily. So there is that daily level right there on GJ, this one, okay? So we tapped, let me make it precise like this. So we tapped inside it, we reacted from it, and right now we're tapping again inside it. So this, again, let's follow structure, guys. This is your last higher low. We massively pump into the upside, higher high. So this is your range right now. The market pulls back, creates a higher low, and then explodes to the upside to break structure. So this is our higher high, and this is our higher low. Okay, so currently we're stuck inside this range. Okay, and the market has to pull back anywhere inside, but not break below this level. So that's the question right now. Are we gonna respect this level, or are we gonna break below it? All right, so that is what we have to figure out on GJ. Let me know, guys, what is your view on GJ? But yes, basically we had this pump up. I was actually thinking that the market is going to react from here for buys, because we had this nice high, broke all the structure on the left. We formed this big sell-off before the big buy. Maybe if you drop to the hourly, there were longs from right there, and as you can see, we perfectly reacted, but we failed to follow through. We failed to break this structure above, and then we carried on to the downside. And currently, as I said, we're staying inside this daily demand. So let me try to find where are our lower highs right now. Well, yeah, the most major one is this one, okay, because this is when we really broke structure down. We had a little pullback, then we tried to break lower. We actually break lower. So yes, we can mark this, but this is a minor structure, okay? So I am curious right now. Again, both GJ and GU need some time. They do need some time. If I drop on the hourly, of course, you can see that this one is ranging. We spike below it, so we can maybe pull back a little bit. Then I'm going to be looking for a break of structure, a retest confirmation for a higher low, and then if we have a higher high, then of course we can start moving up. Okay, so that is GJ. Slightly tricky right now. We're sitting at a key area of interest. It is also 149 that the market is tapping. So let's see. But before taking any longs, I really need to see that the market wants to go up first. So I hope you understand this. GA, it's a pair that I don't trade at all. What is happening on this one? Massive pump down on the daily, pullback, failure to break above the daily level. So basically we are down. This is our daily, what is this? Oops. This is our daily resistance, or called the double top. The market pushes up, pulls back, nice higher low. We can take a buy from here, pushes up, taps inside this area, and starts to react from it. And basically our last full hourly higher low was right here, and we broke it exactly on Friday. So that shows me that maybe we are about to turn bearish, but having a look at this corrective price, it's not really a significant break. So again, I am not sure what to expect on GA at this period of time, okay? What could happen is we can have a pullback inside this area to create a lower high and then to pump lower. So basically this level is already tapped. So the next demand is right there. So if we just jump from zone to zone, then definitely I would expect 78 to get tapped, and then from there we can have a reaction, okay? But in order to tap inside that area, we have to gather some orders, which I don't think we have them inside this range right there. So we possibly have to break this range, maybe even to break this trend line where a lot of people will be looking to sell, and then to tap inside this area and then to sell off, okay? Still keep in mind that we have something remaining inside this sell off, okay? Because if you take actually 50% of the sell-off, we can definitely still tap it, which is inside this. We haven't tapped it yet. So let's see. Again, guys, on all the GBPs, we need some time. We need some time to figure out if they're actually going to go bullish or bearish. So let's see. GA could actually, again, create a little bit of a low inside this candle right there, inside this big sell-off. And if I actually drop on the hourly, you can see that the last candle is right there. Actually, this is your higher low. So the market is allowed to pull back anywhere, but not below this level. So we still have some downside space to pull back to. And if we actually react from here, maybe we're going to have bullishness on GU, GJ, and GA as well. And of course, Euro GBP, as you can see, this one is right now, it's pumping up. So that is not aligning pretty nice with the GBPs. But EG is one of my the pairs that I really cannot understand, guys. So we created this big consolidation, we massively pump up, then we start to create this choppiness. It looks like it breaks structure down, but we maybe retest some sort of a level right there. And right now we're pumping up again, creating bullish structure. Our last higher low is right there. Okay, that is clear. So basically, if I just simply analyze this pair, I'm going to be looking for a pullback and a continuation. Okay, but does that align with the things that we're looking on, on GU, a potential long or a potential long? Yes, because we're overall looking for longs. Not really. So maybe Euro GBP has to reverse to the downside before we actually see that buy on GU. So this is my outlook on the GBP, guys. Let me know in the comments, what are you looking for? What is your bias on GU? Do you think it's gonna go long term? All right, I'm not asking for Monday, I'm asking longer term. Or do you think it's going south? All right, let me know. Let's have a quick look on gold. So we're having some bullish introduction from right there. And again, if we just follow structure, again, have a look at this massive pump up. So basically your weekly higher low is this one. Okay, and although we created a lot of structure in between, we still haven't broken below this low, which was actually a really nice extreme area for a buy. And right now we're starting to show some bullishness as the DXY is also getting weaker. So even on the daily time frame, we have a clear daily closure, a clear daily break of structure, and basically a very strong area is this one. So if gold pulls back towards 1750, we can definitely look for longs. And this week on gold, nothing pretty much. So where is it? 19th of April, right there. We started with a little sell-off that actually pulled back towards this higher low right there. So actually this one is already tapped. Then we push again to the upside. We create a little bit of a structure, and I see a lot of sell-off right there on Friday. So basically we failed to break above the structure, which shows us that there are some sellers inside right now. So the question is the market gonna drop a little bit lower towards the daily levels to create a daily higher low before moving up? This is what I want to see right now. And maybe I want to see if potentially we're gonna reach for that level. I want to see a little bit of a bearish introduction for taking a short eventually inside this area and then taking a long from 1750. So this is a little outlook on gold that I have. Keep in mind that we're perfectly bullish, but this little sign right there for a failure to make a higher high tells me that the market needs a little bit more steam to potentially to push up later. So right now I'm trying to figure out where is it gonna get that steam, and I think maybe 1750 is gonna be a nice level for that. So that is gold. Let me know what you also think of gold. And wrapping up the video with some indices. Again, new all-time highs. The US 30 is continuing to pump into the upside. Oh, that was the monthly actually, but yes, we are continuing. Actually, this week was kind of an indecisive. We haven't actually made a weekly high. This was the monthly that I was looking at. So basically we might be about to pull back maybe a little bit. You can see we have a whole week of consolidation right there, and on the 4-hourly you can see that it's currently starting to fail to break above, which means that yes, it's running out of steam. But of course those indices are fundamentally driven. It depends on the companies as well. But in terms of technicals, I can see that we currently have this very strong supportive level, and the market is in an uptrend. Push, pull back, push, pull back, push right there. A little bit of a sharp introduction of sellers, which we haven't had. If you have a look right there, usually we have a push, corrective price, push, a little bit of corrective price right there. But right now this is not corrective. We pump up immediately, but then we show again a little bit of weakness right there. So basically right now the market is stuck within that range, and we have to see how it's gonna play within that range. And of course, if you're looking to capitalize, there are a lot of intraday moves on the US 30, but you definitely have to be careful and to have a strategy around it. So for me, I'm just playing within that range. My question is right now, are we gonna have a pullback and a break of structure to the upside? Or if we break this support, then possibly we can have some downside. NASDAQ, as you can see what my analysis was, this was the higher low, the market pumped inside, and I planned for a potential long, but as you can see, we reacted from it, but the pressure is a little bit to the downside. So as you can see, NASDAQ is already in a reversal phase, unlike US 30, but again, you can see always buying the dip. We have a dip, buy. So there are always reactions from, and right now we have this nice selling candle right there just before the market closed. So the question right now is like, where is our lower high? Because basically this candle broke the lower high. So are we going up or are we going down? This is our supportive level, as you perfectly know. This is our high, so this is the high of our range that we're trading inside, and basically we have a mid-level right there, which is this one, which was currently broken, as you can see, with a body candle above it. So pretty tricky to determine in terms of technicals. Therefore, again, we just have to follow price, and we have to see if it's gonna pull back inside that area, hold, and then maybe make a high, or are we just gonna sell off, break the structure, and then to potentially head lower. And S&P as well, this is a little bit more bullish than the others. This is what I expected, a corrective pullback inside this area, and then a potential pump, which actually happened. Very nice. Then we created this structure, we tapped inside, and then we sharply reacted. We also broke a little bit of structure to the upside. So right now the question is are we gonna break above this level clearly? Maybe we're gonna have a little bit of a pullback. Let's see if we slow down, and then if we potentially are gonna explode up. So that is for the indices, and this is how I'm gonna wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you found something valuable. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a little comment below. I always appreciate you seeing you in my comments. And of course, I'm gonna try to give my best to post a little bit more during the week, maybe some educational videos. Always let me know what you're struggling with via DM or somewhere, so that I know actually what kind of content to put out. And I'm gonna try to do some more trading breakdowns as well. So I wish you a relaxing weekend and a crushing week, and make sure you stay tuned for the Tuesday analysis on Telegram. The link is in the description.